So when I was very young, I went to a Catholic school and they did have those one colored hula hoops that you could pick out of the bucket of goodies for recess. And at this school, I often grabbed the hula hoop because I could do it around my neck, and I used to be able to do it around my neck and kind of move all over the ground. And it wasn't hoop dance, but it was, little did I know, it was an early form of what was going to become something a lot bigger in my life. And I would play with these hula hoops and I would make up little dance routines and talk to trees and tell everyone there are fairies in the flowers. And Catholic school really loved that. It started developing into me being kind of the hula hoop girl of my school when I was very young. I always loved to do hula hoop contests and I could do it forever and it just wouldn't fall off, and I was just kind of one of those kids. So years later, it was junior year of high school, or going into my junior year of high school. It was that summer, and I used to hang out at a swimming pool that was my best friend's house, and she had a hula hoop there one day. And she had learned from some local Kansas City hoop dancers how to hula hoop. She was kind of showing off her skills that she had learned, and when I saw it, it was kind of like an aha moment because I knew that I've always loved hula hooping. So of course when I saw the hula hoop, my little inner child got so excited and wanted to kind of show off my I can do it around my neck and I can keep it going forever skills. And my friend had learned how to do all these beautiful moves. I always kind of felt a little insecure with myself. I did not think I was a good dancer. I was not a very confident person at that time in my life. And when I saw the hoop dance for the first time, I thought, I can do that. Like, this is something I know I can do. So she handed me her hula hoop and she started kind of teaching me the basic tricks. I just got them. They just made sense to me. I remember her saying that she was impressed about how quickly I picked it up. I mean, from that moment on, it just became this incredible outward spiral effect with hoop dance and everything that it's become and where I am now with hoop dance. I got my own hula hoop, my first hula hoop, in a little head shop in Kansas City, and I started practicing the basics. I tried to meet up with local Kansas City hoopers, and there weren't a lot of them at the time. There were a few websites that talked about hoop dance, but it wasn't like what we have now with such a active community, or at least it felt that way. It felt very small to me. I met some local hoopers. I wanted to get some lessons. I never ended up getting lessons, but I did get to meet some really great hoopers, and I just started watching them and then kind of teaching myself. Then on YouTube, I had found a few videos of some hoop dancers like Brecken and Baxter, Hoopalicious. I began to watch their videos, just kind of learn from their movements. And I did it in my basement, before school, after school, during school, which really threw a few people off, especially because it was kind of still becoming this really popular thing, and it threw a lot of people off because they had never seen it before. I became totally immersed into hoop dance. I mean, it completely rerouted my life in a way I never thought it would. And I started recording my process from the beginning just so I could see what I looked like. I played tennis in high school as well. I've always kind of been into sports, and they used to often videotape how we did our movements. And I figured, okay, well, if I videotape the way I hoop, then I can look back and kind of learn from my own mistakes or learn to become a better hoop dancer. So I just kind of completely put myself into this hooping lifestyle. I don't really know what happened, but somehow putting all these videos on YouTube, people started watching them. A couple, 50 views that I was really excited about turned to hundreds of views, turned to thousands of views, and now hundreds of thousands of views and millions of views, which is just absolutely incredible that so many people love the art of hoop dance. And I'm just so passionate about creating a strong online community because with Hooping Live and whatnot, because when I started hooping, like I had said, there weren't a lot of people around and I kind of felt isolated. I got my friends to get into it, and a lot of my friends were really good at it, and it was fun to hang out with them and, kind of create our own little community. But I didn't understand that there was this whole other place out there that was so real, that is a hooping community. So kind of one of the pivotal moments in my life was when hold on, sorry. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. Okay. One of the pivotal moments of my hoop dancing career, that's what you want to call it, my hoop path, was I would do spring break in Fort Myers because my mom was, I call him a stepdad. Even though they weren't technically married, he was a wonderful man. And he lived in Fort Myers. He was always very supportive of my art. So when I chose to go to Ringling College of Art and Design, which is in Sarasota, Florida, he was incredibly thrilled. But we'll reverse a little bit back to this pivotal moment. I was hooping on the beach with one of my girlfriends. He always let me bring a girlfriend on spring break, and my girlfriend hooped as well. Her and I just spent the whole time hooping. I was on the beach hooping one day. A woman who owned a local pizza shop came up to me and said, "Would you do that in front of our pizza shop?" And I thought, yeah, that'd be awesome. Maybe we can make a couple bucks, doing some hula hooping in front of a pizza shop. And I remember my friend didn't really want to go, but I eventually convinced her to go, and we went and we had a great time. And we met some local Fort Myers beach people. They're around my age. They became very, very good friends. One of the girls that I met there who also hoop dances, I taught her how to hoop dance. She's an incredible hoop dancer now. I met her there and she became kind of my instant best friend. And because of that moment of me hooping on the beach that day and hooping at this specific little pizza shop and meeting these specific people led me to really be driven to go to art school in Sarasota, Florida. And I'm thankful every day that that moment happened and that my mom was with this wonderful man. He has since passed. I don't know if I made that clear or not. He passed away a few years back. Yeah. He was a great guy. And like I said, he was very supportive of me going to art school and he loved Florida. He just loved the warm weather. So he kind of got me into wanting to be a Floridian. So anyway, I make my decision when I get a scholarship from Ringling that, okay, I got a scholarship, I'm going to Ringling. So I go to Ringling, and when I get there, it's funny how all this works. I get there on, it's Tuesdays. Yeah, it was a Tuesday. It's just incredible how all these things kind of fall into place together. So I get there I drive from Kansas to Sarasota, And I get there on a Tuesday. And it just so happened that on Tuesdays was Bonnie Brown's hoop jam on Siesta Key Beach. So I get there 2 hours before this hoop jam starts. And my dad did not want me to go. He thought it was a little sketchy, but I ended up going. So I get to the hoop jam, and this community that Sarasota has was there. Even though Bonnie wasn't, they all just accepted me, and I felt so accepted. And I don't want to say for the first time in my entire life, but it was a feeling of acceptance I had never felt before. And it was really, really lovely. And they were very, very kind to me, and very, complimented my hooping, and it made me feel really good. I had not yet really found my flow. People said that they thought I was a good hooper, but I didn't personally feel like I had found my flow yet. Especially once I found flow, I knew that I hadn't found it then. So at that point, I was still kind of on a lonely journey of hooping. The next Tuesday, I go back to this hoop jam, and Bonnie is there. Bonnie Brown has been my friend ever since I got to Sarasota. My first real friend, honestly. And even though she wasn't the one who originally gave me a hula hoop, I do consider her my hoop mama, because she taught me about the deeper meaning of hoop dance and what it can really teach an individual. So Bonnie just kind of takes me in and shows me workshops like Baxter's workshop, which was kind of that moment that I did find my inner dancer, which he talks about a lot. So Bonnie shows me all of these beautiful things of hooping, and really helped me come out of this awkward shell of insecurity that I was in, and taught me about, really dancing and really finding that inner dancer, which I talk about a lot because I did feel very awkward, and I think it's so important to find an inner dancer or your inner dancer, because it just changes everything in and outside of the hoop. So she tells me that I should definitely come to a Baxter workshop. So I go there, and I'm feeling confident in my hooping. I'm like, okay, I'm a decent hooper. I got this. And Baxter gives us blindfolds and says, now drop the hoop, blindfold yourself, and start dancing. And I'm thinking, why would I dance without my hoop? Like, that's kind of awkward. I felt awkward, and felt nervous, but he starts talking, and I'm just kind of like making like weird, awkward dance moves. And he starts talking about that no one here is going to judge you. You can't see anyone. As he's talking, I'm feeling this kind of moment happen where all of a sudden I start kind of releasing all of these, restrictions that I've had. My insecurities kind of had a hold on me. And I felt these, this holding cell began to break apart. And I felt myself dance. And then he gets you into this really intense, beautiful moment of full-on, beautiful dancing. And then has you stop, and then had us pick up the hoop. And it was so cool. In that moment, I understood hoop dance for the first time and what it really, really was. So I get in I'm in like this confused kind of like, whoa, like I didn't know that hooping could bring you to this place. So I continue to make my videos. I started a club at Ringling called Ringling Hoop Jam, and got a bunch of Ringlingers into hula hooping, which was great. It was cool. We had like a DJ, and I would sell hoops, and a lot of great hoopers have come out of that hoop jam, like Gabriella Ritchie, My friend Ailish became a great hooper. My roommate Elise Pizer was a great hooper from that. Just a lot of people would come, like Matthias would come. I met Matthias at Baxter's workshop, and Matthias Elliott is now one of my best friends. And all of these beautiful things came because of hoop dance, because of this workshop I went to. So I continued to film myself hoop dancing. But after that Baxter workshop, my views, that's when it spiked. And my views started really going up. And I started really getting into hoop dance. And I started really feeling it and feeling the community. And I loved it. So I continue on this journey, going to workshops, going to Hoop Path, seeing Brecken, Tiana, Con, Anna from Anna Hoopalicious, Ann Humphreys, Beth Lavender, who was also incredibly wonderful, and started kind of becoming a part of this really wonderful community. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm completely immersed into this hoop path, this circle of incredible people, and I realized that the hoop totally took my life to a whole nother plane of existence that I never thought I could go on. I know that sounds a little epic, but it's true. It just completely morphed my life into something I never thought I could be in. And I'm so grateful for that. I can't even start to express how happy I am that this has happened. They have so they have a Siesta Key drum circle, and I would go there and I would hoop in front of people. I would do performances sometimes, get to know people that are outside of the community, so I can meet like owners of nightclubs that would want me to do some LED performances, or, you know, just little things, becoming more a part of this community in Sarasota. And then one day, up pops Craig out of, like, you know, with all of his gear on. And Craig Ship, he helps me out with a lot of my work now, came up to me and asked me if I wanted to help make a video for his Sarasota website, choosesarasota.com. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I do some stuff on YouTube. I'm pretty confident I can do this. So I do this video, and he takes some photos of me, and we get in contact. And then I have this next pivotal moment of where he says that he thinks there's a lot that I could do with his YouTube channel and with hooping, and become super confident in not only me, but in the hooping community. So he helps create this platform, which is now Hooping Live, to really get out to the viewers. So because of meeting him and being in Sarasota and hooping, we now have Hooping Live, which is this great platform for people to come to and have a live experience with hoop dancers of all shapes and sizes, and feel a part of something. And I've had a lot of emails from viewers saying that they're grateful because there's not a lot of hoopers in their community, or they can't go to things where there are other hoopers, and that Hooping Live makes them feel a part of something, which is, when we go back in time, where I really wanted to be, was feeling a part of a community. And so now I'm here, and I am teaching people how to find their inner dancer, and, you know, really trying to get the teachings of all of these great hoop masters that I've learned from, and putting their words out there and putting my own words out there, and trying to help other boys and girls of any age, really, I promise you, any age, that they can start this great hoop journey and create a lifestyle that's going to be incredibly beneficial and special, just like it has been for me. So if you do start hooping, which I hope you do if you haven't already, be sure to really think about those moments of your hoop path that have been incredibly special and pivotal. And if you are a hooper, don't stop. Don't pressure yourself by watching other hoopers that are really incredible, because you're just as incredible. We all have our own way of expressing hoop dance. There is no right answer to this form of expression, which is really wonderful. And just keep learning and be a part of the community, whether it's online, in person, whatever you can do, just immerse yourself. Remember those moments as well. And I promise that in 6, 7 years, 10 years down the line, you can have a moment like this where you can sit and reflect on how your life has changed because of a plastic circle.